I'm so glad that Senator Casey talked about his dad, who was a real champion of so many different things in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and I was honored to work with him in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And I think you can see two attributes that are common both in his dad and in the senator. They're very humble, and they give too much credit to other people. Governor Casey created early intervention services in Pennsylvania. He really, by the way, on so many fronts, and they were, I guess, what you could say, the good days in Pennsylvania. And I don't think that, and I don't want you to think for 1 second that Senator Casey needed any encouragement to get to where he is. His core has always been there. When he lived in Scranton with his mom and dad, they literally had the board of the Scranton School for the Deaf. So you can just imagine this would-be United States Senator pushing his trucks around the living room and running over all the feet of the board member in the Casey family living room. But Senator Casey, when I first met him, he had that core, he had that intuition. You have that. And often it is inspired by people that are advocates like all of you in this room. But he had this from the day he was born, and he had a wonderful mentor. I remember being in the governor's office on so many occasions, and there's one thing that he would never waver on, and that was the issue for individuals with intellectual disabilities. And he opened doors that no one would even think of. But he's no longer with us, but I do remember one thing. When I went to the funeral for Governor Casey, I think he would have been remarkably astounded at the tributes that were paid to him. He was viewed as somewhat of a loner because he was courageous. I believe with the number of people, Democrat, Republican, and people from all walks of life that paid appropriate tribute, and that he, like his son, would be embarrassed by all the accolades that were thrown in his direction. But they were well deserved. And I will tell you that they're well deserved by our champion, Senator Bob Casey. There are things that people do, and they may be political or otherwise, but there are things that people come to public office. And Senator Casey came to public office with an awareness and a commitment to help the most vulnerable. And he's demonstrating that by his comprehensive understanding of how important this bill is. We hear horror stories all the time where somebody just goes over a little bit on their eligibility. And families struggle every day, whether it's the waiting list or whatever it is. People are always worried about what their future of their kids are. I have 3 cognitively developing kids, but sometimes I wonder about that. But I wonder what their future is going to be. I wonder about all the things in the world that are going to be challenging to them. And I wonder whether they're going to have employment opportunities, whether they're going to have quality of life. Well, if you have an individual with a disability, you never, ever, ever rest. Morning, noon, and night. And often, it's not until you're gone that your family member is taken care of, but you never ever have that confidence that that's going to be in place. This allows families to plan for those quality of life issues, to have the necessary resources so they're not taken away from MA eligibility. I really want you to take time. And I am nonpartisan. When I became Speaker, I was elected by more Democrats than I was Republicans, but I'm very proud of it. It gives me a nonpartisan voice. But I learned that from the Caseys, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. My advocacy for individuals with disabilities may be a different person. It may be a better legislator. It certainly may be a better dad. And I take my voice everywhere I go so they can see how I am in the world, and I want that to be this way. That's what his dad did for him, and that's why he's the wonderful champion. And we owe him great tribute today, because it's not easy to be for anything in Washington, D.C. But there's one thing that differentiates Senator Casey from all of his colleagues. He's never afraid to say what he's for. most people are very articulate about what they're against. So our hats off to Senator, we wish you good luck, and we're going to support you.
Thank you, Councilman. The next person I want to introduce is Sabra Townsend. She is someone that I have dreamed and worked with for many years as we work to create more opportunities and more education, more employment for our sons in the future here in Philadelphia. And she's been recognized for her extensive work in Philadelphia as a parent, as an advocate, by many places, including the Center for Autism. I would like to introduce Sabra Townsend.
Good afternoon. My name is Sabra Townsend, and I'd like to let you know how the ABLE Act could help our family and many families like mine. My Brandon is 16 now, but at his birth, we had never heard of the rare condition that he has. And then just for kicks, around 2.5 years old, he was diagnosed with autism. When you dream of having a child, you want the best for them. You hope that they will be happy and that they will be good citizens. Maybe they'll go on to college or start a business or have a family of their own. When the disability comes along, you may grieve at first, but then you get into action. And one of the questions that I always ask myself and when I'm talking to other parents is, what about your child brings you joy? Always remember that, because there is joy in the ways that they help you view the world. You look for the best preschool, you look for the best school, you want to know where your child can get the best medical care. Who are the therapists that specialize in that particular condition? How can your son or daughter have an everyday life? When you have a child with a disability, there are always, did I say always, expenses that aren't covered, even when you have good insurance. When you need a babysitter, you need someone trained. When you have to work late or travel for your job, you have to make arrangements. As I watched my son grow, and grow he has, he's 16, he's 6'1". I wonder how he'll be, what he'll do, where he will live when I'm no longer here. In our parents' groups, we often joke that we just have to live forever. We just can't help it. But there's some bittersweet moments as well. We hear our friends, the typical kids, talk about saving for college and preparing to be empty nesters. We're concerned about how our young adults are going to learn to navigate the world. And that's where this ABLE Act comes in. It will provide us an avenue for our families to provide supplemental supports for our loved ones so that we can save and make sure that they can live the life that they deserve when we're gone. And even while we're here, we want to make sure that they live well. So with that, I applaud Senator Casey and the senator from North Carolina. I forgot his name, I'm so sorry.
Richard Burr.
Richard Burr.
Burr, B-U-R-R.
Richard Burr, I applaud you both for sponsoring this act, and that just means we have work to do to make sure that we have all of our other senators and House of Representatives support this act so that we can see it signed into law. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sabra. I'm told that our next guest, Sean, is something of a star here on campus. He's a student here at Temple as part of the program run by the Center on Disability. He graduates this year and hopes to someday work in criminal law. I'm pleased to introduce Sean Allion.
Just like we say, that they do to the institute of the disabilities for having it, that they thank you, Senator Bob Casey, and then the thank you also for the ABLE Act is so important to me because one in independence with this ABLE Act, it will help not just me, but all students to be independent, so that we can go not only as students, but and also as individuals. Education is key, and with this education, with this in our education, it will help us to be more able to learn and to help our minds grow, and to also give us the strength that we need every day, because to let us know, even though we have intellectual disabilities, we are part of society. And I always tell everybody, for us, education is independent. The more education that we have, the more independence that we can become. And so, Senator Casey, this act is so important, and I just want to say thank you for start to develop this act. And plus, like also with this app, it can really build up not just our confidence, but our parents' confidence. So that we don't have to worry about it. We'll worry about what we're going to do in our 20s, just like you said, or in our 30s. But we can rest assured that someone in the center office and is on our side, and that we have a whole disability community surround us that can support us and also help us see very help us see in employment, so that we can be better workers, not only for us, but also for society, and we can inspire all. Thank you.